Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, Senior Pastor of New Life Christian Center, located at 400 Hillcrest Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. If you are ever in our area, we invite you to come and worship with us. Service begins at 10 a.m. We invite you to come and experience a better quality of life. And if you are not in our area, as always, you can tune in for our Sunday sermon on our Facebook channel or on our YouTube channel. You can reach us at YouTube at New Life Christian Center Pastor Pope, where we go live with the Sunday sermon at 10:45 a.m. And this coming Sunday, we're going to be celebrating Women's History Month, so we invite you to come worship with us if you're not in the area. Just tune in. We are going to have a glorious time, and we invite everyone to come and be with us. Service begins at 10 a.m. And of course, we are here with you, live broadcasting from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, where you can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating, relationships, whatever's on your heart, whatever's in your mind. God is concerned about that which concerns you. And that is the reason that we are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji Water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer, where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water. This is Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving to support the broadcast on our websites, on the contribution pages of our websites at NewLifeMinistriesInternational.com and NewLifeInternationalCDC.com, and those of you that use the QR code or the link provided on Facebook or YouTube, and those of you that are now using Zelle on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. We thank all of you for your support and for your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. I want to remind all of our listeners and viewers, we want to stay connected with you throughout the week on our internet radio station, WKAPFaith.com, where we play music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, music that will encourage you, empower you, and inspire you. And so we want to thank everyone who continues to be with us throughout the week. We have a large listening and viewing audience, so we thank all of you for being with us. And I'm going to begin today by addressing a communication that came in, but I'm going to do this in a little different way because this prompted me to look at a lot of the communications that have been coming in, and it took me back to the conversation that we had with BeccaTheDietitian.com, who was with us on Friday last week. And we talked about the theoretical model of change. And so some of your communications, as I was going back looking through them, and one of them came in regarding making changes in life. And what I realized is that this theoretical model of change that Becca provided us on Friday, which was related to our health and wellness, but it's also related to everyday life. And so you sent in the communication about making some changes and wanting to make positive change in your life. And that theoretical change model actually addresses a lot of the communications that many of you have been sending in about making changes in our lives. So we're going to delve into that model for a bit. And I'm going to start with, as you may have noticed on the Facebook page where it was posted, the pre-contemplation stage implies that you're not going to do anything. So if you're pre-contemplating, that means you have looked at your life and said, I want to make some changes, but you don't do anything about it. You don't make a decision to make the change. You're just contemplating what change might look like. And so because of that, because we're in that pre-contemplation stage, we don't make change. We just think that we might like to make some. And then there's the contemplation phase. That means, okay, I'm really tired of life being just what it is, and maybe I need to make some changes. So you start to contemplate that. You start to contemplate what that change might look like in your life. What is it going to require of you, and what's the responsibility of the change? Am I going to have to shed some of the skin that I'm in? Am I going to have to make some changes in my personality? Am I going to have to make some changes in my behavior? Am I going to have to make some changes in my association of people? And the answer to all of that is yes. But then we get to the place in contemplation where we say, well, maybe I'd like to make some change, but I'm not quite prepared to do that. And then there's the preparation phase. So now we've identified there's some changes I need to make in my personality. There's some changes I need to make in my behavior. And there's some changes I need to make in my association with people. And you begin to prepare a plan to do just that. You begin to say, these are the people that are in my life that are holding me back. These are the people that are in my life that I'm not able to make a transition from surviving to thriving. So you begin to look at all of these dynamics, and then you say, okay, so my personality I have to change, my behavior I have to change, some association I have to change. You know, I've often said, and many of you have heard me say this, if you show me your network, I'll show you your net worth. You show me your friends, I'll show you your future. And there are people along the course of life when you want to make change and you want to enhance the quality of your life and make improvements in the quality of your life, there are some people that you're going to have to shed. There's going to be some people who will drop off just because they're not prepared to go to another level. They're comfortable right where they are. But then there's some people you are going to have to shed, because those are the people that are attached to you that God did not assign to your life. The people who drop off were never intended to be there with you on the long journey. They were there for a short time. The people who you have to shed are people who want to be with you, but they're not going to require themselves to go to a next level, and you can't take them to the next level. So you have to develop a plan. You have to develop a plan of execution. You have to develop an implementation strategy, and then you have to implement the plan. And then you've got to take action. So now that you have the plan of what changes you're going to make in yourself, in the way you conduct yourself, and the people you spend your time with, you then have to take action. And you have to do some different things. You know, people, places, and things will hold you back, or they will take you to the next level. What I mean by that is, example, you know, someone sent in a communication some time ago, and I remember this, saying that they were, and I'm not going to get into another communication about dating, but yet, that will come later in the broadcast, but she was saying about, you know, the difficulty in meeting quality people. Well, the places she was going was not conducive for meeting quality people, people who will inspire you to go to the next level or require you to go to the next level. You know, you can place yourself in the presence of certain people, and because of the way they live or conduct business, doing business, they will require you to go to the next level. Because in order for you to remain in that environment, you're going to find it necessary to go to the next level. So that plan of action has to occur, and then you have to do it. You have to begin to do whatever changes you're going to make. You have to begin to implement them. You have to begin to maintain, and this is going to take us to the next phase of that. You've got to begin to maintain the new changes that you make. And that maintenance simply means being consistent. I'm going to do this every single day until the change occurs in my life. So think about this. They often say that it takes 30 days to develop a new habit. And then some people say, well, it'll take you, 20 days to maintain the habit you develop. But the reality is, it will take you 30 days to develop a new habit. And then it will take you 30 days to learn how to maintain it, to be consistent with it. That's why people drop off when they start working out, because they're not consistent with it. So basically what happens with that, and I'm going to show you how to do that, is that whatever implementations you make in change, personality, let's start there. If you are going to change your personality, it's going to take you 30 days to learn how to adjust your personality to really thrive. But once you make the adjustment in your personality, it's going to take you another 30 days to learn to be consistent with it. So I'll use an example. We can't just say whatever we want to say. So if you decide that you're going to change the way you talk to people, the way you speak to others, the way you interact with others, then you have to say, okay, it will take me the whole month of April. We're not there yet, but you're going to implement. So part of your strategy has to be, okay, we're almost at the end of the first quarter, so I'm going to start thinking about the changes I need to make in my personality. So it will take you from the beginning of April till the end of April to implement the changes in your personality. Then it's going to take you all of May to learn to be consistent with your personality. So there's 2 months gone already. And then your behavior, the things that you do that are not leading to your success. Let's say the whole month of June, you're going to have to take action to change your behavior. But then it's going to take you the whole month of July to learn how to be consistent with that. So now that's 4 months of the year gone by. And then your associates. You're going to have to shed some people, places, and things. That means that you're going to have to go to some different places than you normally would go, meeting the same type of people. You're going to have to do some things differently, people, places, and things. So you're going to have to do some things differently. But it'll take you all of August to develop that habit. And then it's going to take you all of September to learn to be consistent and not allowing more types of those people to attach themselves to you. Because we are naturally drawn to the familiar. So that's literally 6 months of the year. So you're going to then have to focus on the next 6 months of not returning to the behavior that you once knew. So you've got to learn to stay the course. that's going to take you another 90 days to really learn to stay the course, and then another 90 days to prevent any return to familiarity, to what's familiar to you. Because if you go back to what's familiar to you, go back to where you started, you're not making progress. So once again, you're just surviving, you're not thriving. So we've got to look at this theoretical change model, this theoretical model of change, and apply it to every facet of our lives, not just our health and wellness. Health and wellness is a good place to start. But I did a lot of meditation and prayer regarding this theoretical change model, and I'm saying theoretical model of change, and I'm saying this isn't just for our health and wellness, this is for our everyday life. This is a great model for everyday life. And we really want to become the best version of ourselves that we can possibly become. So let's work on that. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will move you into our queue so that you may have the opportunity to become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest and fastest 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill. At T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers. However, you indicated that so many people you have known have passed away in the last 6 months, and you said at the age of 50, that was not your expectation, and now you're dealing with the thoughts of your own mortality. Okay, so let's examine mortality. First of all, the people that have passed away, your prayer is that they were saved. If they had their salvation and eternal life, they're not lost. This is one of the things I say to people all the time, because I hear people say all the time, oh, I lost someone who was dear to me. No, if they're saved, you didn't lose them. You know where to find them. You will see them again, because we have eternal life in our salvation. You know you will see them when you get to heaven. Contrary to talking points in the general popular culture, there is a heaven, there is a hell. You'll see them again if they're saved. That's the first thing. The second thing is, we're all dying every day. And I'm not going to sound like the morbid Grim Reaper today, but what I am going to say to you is this. We're all, from the moment we're born, we are all dying. We're all going to live until we stop living. And then we're going to live on because we have eternal life, if you're saved. But we're all going to live in the physical sense until the day we die. So the thoughts you're having of mortality are just based on the fact that your age, you're 50 years old, 50 plus, and people you know are dying, and you don't expect that at an early age. But what you have to realize is that you don't know the cause of their condition before they died. You don't know what health issues they had prior to their death. So you have to accept that whatever health issues they were dealing with, for them to die at this age, you said 50, but you really 52. For them to die at this, around your age, that is considered early, because people are expected to get at least 70 years. So, sure, you aren't really certain why, but you don't have to know why. because you don't know all of their health issues. You don't know the dynamics of whatever it may be. And if it wasn't health and it was, due to trauma, then you don't know what was going on in their lives that created that trauma. And if they were an innocent bystander to trauma, then you got to know that that was the time that God decided that they had done everything that they were going to do here on earth. And we have to recognize that, and we have to accept that. Don't get caught up in your own mortality, because we're all going to die. The good news is, for those of us that are saved, is that we live on. We have eternal life. So, sure, it wasn't your expectation that friends would pass away. And yes, several of them have done that in the last 6 months. But you don't really know what was going on behind the scenes that you could not see. So the only thing you can do, since you're focusing on your mortality, the only thing you can do is do the very best that you can do to enhance and improve your health and wellness. Do the things that we know we can do. So it's very interesting. I had a conversation with my wife early this morning, and I was talking to her about my weight, because yesterday was a very busy day for me. And at the end of that day, I had gotten in a little over 13,000 steps and didn't even go out for a run. It was just a busy day. And so consequently, I had a healthy meal yesterday. I had a protein shake in the morning. I had a healthy meal later in the day. But it was such a busy day yesterday that I actually lost 2.6 pounds. Now, I know that might not seem like a lot of weight to lose, but it took me to another place, because I realized that, diet and exercise, what we eat and how much we move, will help us to maintain our weight. So as I shared with everyone, and with Becca the dietitian when she was on prior to maternity leave, I weigh myself every day. I know everyone doesn't do that. My wife and I weigh ourselves every day. We do. And the reason is because it helps us to know exactly where we are. It helps us to, it doesn't cause us to spiral into, anxiety or depression if we see we, gained a couple of pounds. It just tells us, okay, don't gain any more. and we stay within our range just by monitoring our weight every day. So we know if we need to cut back. She doesn't really have as much of a problem with it as I do, because I like to eat. I like food. So I stay within my range. And I do that because I'm getting older. I want to be as healthy as I possibly can. Remember, Becca the dietitian told us during this month, until we're connected with her again during the broadcast, establish your why. And I've established my why. I want to live a great quality of life, and I want to enjoy my grandchildren. So I'm trying to stay as healthy as I possibly can, and I'm doing that by monitoring my health and wellness. Now, in addition to that, it's getting warmer in our region. Thank the Lord. It's getting warmer, and I'm going to be doing some additional things, which will require me to eat more, because I'm going to be burning a lot, running, playing some golf, and I'm going to be burning a lot of energy. So I'll eat more because of that, but I've got to monitor the changes I've made. So our mortality is based on two things. And there may be a few other peripherals, but I'm really focused on these two things. Our mortality is based on, first and foremost, when God decides that we have done everything that he wants us to do here on earth and allows us to come home. That's the first thing it's based on. The second thing it's based on is what we do to maintain our body, mind, and spirit. That's the quality of life. And so if we work on those things, we're going to find that we are going to have the opportunity to live a longer, healthier life unless the Lord calls us home and says, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. Enter into the rest of the Lord." This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, stop in at their retail stores. They have everything a man could possibly need. And if you purchase shirts from Charles Tyrwhitt right now, you can receive 3 high-quality cotton shirts pardon me, for $99. And if you're not in any of those areas, you can order from Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. And the White Company, located in London, the UK. They also have a store on Fifth Avenue in New York. So if you're in New York, stop in at their retail store. They have everything you could possibly need: home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. And right now you can take advantage of a sale up to 50% off on some of the items at The White Company. If you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. I'm having some problems with my allergies and my sinuses right now, so just bear with me and know that we'll get through the remainder of this broadcast even if I'm sneezing my head off. Okay. All right. So I just want to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you are now age 30 and having a difficult time with relationships, even though you are single and you have no children. Okay. So you said, how can you really be more effective with relationships? The problem is not your ability to date. The problem is your ability to maintain relationships. And this is really the point in your life where at age 30, you're at the point where you are either going to make the necessary changes to be the best version of yourself, or you're going to maintain what you're currently doing and continue having the same problems, which this really takes you back to the theoretical method of change. So the truth of the matter is that at 30, you've already started to develop some habits. You've got your own personality. You clearly have your own opinion. And sometimes your personality, your opinions, your behavior creates a problem. So you've got to decide, are you ready to take on the theoretical model of change? So that as you go into your 30s, you don't spend from 30 to 40 still trying to overcome these particular changes that need to be made. So you're going to have to get out of the pre-contemplation mode. You're going to have to overcome the contemplation mode, and you're going to have to start preparing to make some changes because you're 30 now. And you know, it's amazing because everything changes from 21 to 25, from 25 to 30, from 30 to 35, from 35 to 40. And then, believe it or not, from 40 to 50, It starts getting more difficult to make changes. And then 50 to 60, 60 to 70. So you got to decide now. Don't wait until you get to 35 and life is half over. You got to start deciding now what changes you need to make and what changes you want to make. 3D, today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery. And you'll save money at FijiWater.com. May God bless you today. May God keep his face turned towards you. May God give you peace that surpasses all understanding. Have a great day today. Remember, we want to stay connected with you through our internet radio station,